Good morning. Welcome to First Parish in Waltham. We are glad you are all here. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. My name is Pam Penton. I'm the Commissioner of Faith Formation and a member of the Board of Managers. My pronouns are she and her. I am a 60-something white woman with curly blonde hair today, wearing a black shirt and fancy pants. Here are this week's announcements. We try very hard to make our service as accessible as possible. We have hearing helpers and large print versions of our order of service and hymnals available from our ushers. Our weekly newsletter is emailed on Wednesdays. Paper copies can be found at the entrance to our building. This week's edition includes more information than usual. If you've not seen how to make an appointment to meet with Reverend Elka, or that we can have 2 different choirs that you could join, or see your invitation to game night on Friday, read about the fun activities that are on offer at the Fall Fair on October 27th. Now know how to meet with Deb Jose, our president. May have marked your calendar to join the Taylor family to celebrate the life of Mary Ann, or Punchy as she's affectionately known, on Saturday, October 19th at 3 p.m., or consider the range of local events that we advertise, from gardening to attending meetings about climate change. You need to get reading your newsletter. The other important article in this week's newsletter is how to sign up for the First Parish community email list. Please see Brenda Assis or Daphne Blunt for more information. I don't know if those people are here to raise your hands so that people know who you are. Nope. A huge thank you to all who helped with the clothing exchange yard sale on Saturday. There are other opportunities to find bargains on Tuesdays and another yard sale that's coming Saturday, October 19th. If you are visiting today or new among us, please ask an usher how you can stay in touch. This is the end of today's announcements. We're glad you're here. Please check you have silenced your phone and other communication devices. And now, please turn around and wave to the lovely people who have joined us on Zoom.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. My name is April Rosario. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a Black woman in my late 30s with medium-length dreadlocks, and I am wearing black-rimmed cat eye glasses, and I am super excited to be just over 5 feet. I am the Director of Faith Formation here at First Parish in Waltham, and I am so excited to be with all of you today. I'm excited because Sunday is one of my favorite days of the week. Sunday mornings are a special time, a time when we gather together to live out our dreams, to help each other, and to be part of something greater than ourselves. Because together, we can find meaning and strength and love to help guide us in all that we do. Now, before I get into our opening words today, I want to remind everyone that this is a little bit of a different service. Today is an all-ages service, which means our kids and our youth won't be traveling downstairs, but will be staying with us all morning. It is also one of my favorite types of service because it is interactive and participatory, if you're feeling up to it. So, if at any point folks are feeling like they need to move or wiggle, you are welcome to do that. If you are someone who focuses better with things in your hands, we have Play-Doh and coloring sheets and fidgets at the back. You are welcome at any time to get up and grab those to make today more accessible to you. Our theme for the month of October is deep listening. So our opening words today come from John Saxon and are entitled, Listen. Listen. Can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. It calls us in the silence and through the noise and the busyness of our daily lives. It calls us in the brightness of the day and in the darkness of the night, in the times of hope and despair. Listen. Can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. And it doesn't matter what you call it, for it has no name and many different names. The Spirit of life, the Spirit of love, the Spirit of compassion, the Spirit of hope, the Spirit of justice. Listen. Can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. It's calling to you, and it's calling to me. It's calling us to our greatest wholeness, greater connection, greater service, greater love. It's calling us to heal the brokenness within ourselves, in others, and the world. It's calling us to live more deeply. It's calling us to beauty. It's calling us to laugh and dance and sing. It's calling us to live through life's pain and life's sorrow. It's calling us to live courageously and kindly. It's calling us to speak our truth in love and to bend the moral arc of the universe towards justice. It's calling us into community. It's calling us into the greater life for all. Listen, can you hear it? The Spirit is calling. We begin each of our worship services with the lighting of our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. And this morning, I would like to invite up JJ and his grandma Sue to light this morning's chalice as I share our chalice lighting words from Reverend Scott Taylor. Come on up. So there's a candle there, and you can dip it in and light the chalice. Perfect. As we light this flame, may we hear what it has to say. Come back to your center, it calls. Return to the quiet, it whispers, the quiet we long for and that longs for us. From this stillness, always a voice arises, if we let it in. So come, friends, let us listen once again. Let us find the flame inside that guides us back home. Thank you. And now I invite you to please rise in body or spirit as you're willing and able and join us in our opening hymn, Wake Now My Senses, which is number 298 in the gray hymnal. remain standing for our unison affirmation, which begins with the word love. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated. So, as I mentioned, our theme this month is deep listening. So with that in mind, I want to tell you a wisdom tale. But before I do, I want to give it a tiny bit of context. You see, as Unitarian Universalists, we often take wisdom from so many places, not just the one. We take wisdom from the world's religions, from science, from people, from nature, and so many other places. And because I'm a millennial, every now and then, I take some wisdom from social media, give or take. So with that in mind, I want to share a story with you, a true story that I happened upon on social media. Now, it was an article, and so I have massaged it a bit to be a story, and I have given it a title. And the title is The Day Joshua Bell Played in the Subway. Friends, our story begins on a cold winter morning. A morning in January 2007, to be exact. It was just before 8 a.m., 7:57 to be exact, in the middle of morning rush hour, when a 39-year-old man in a baseball cap opened up his violin case and began to play in a subway station. The man played for a full 45 minutes. Now remember, it was rush hour. And during that 45 minutes, exactly 1,097 people passed the man in the baseball cap playing his violin. 1,097. I don't know about you, but I don't have anything in that quantity. 1,097. But the man in the subway with the baseball cap playing his violin did. 1,097 potential audience members, potential listeners, potential observers, potential people to be present. Of that 1,097, 7 of them stopped. 7 of them paid attention. 7 of them listened. And of that 7 that stopped, remember, we've gotten rid of the other 1,090. Of that 7 that stopped, only a few, about 5, stopped long enough to listen to more than just a few notes. And of that 5 that stopped, only 2 were present long enough to pay attention to know they liked it enough to clap. Now, technically, this is where the story ends. Unless we decide to pay a bit more attention, to listen to the things that weren't said. And I've decided we should. So here's the other half of the story. Yes, that day in January in 2007, a man played in the subway. But that man was Joshua Bell, one of the world's best, most talented musicians. That day in 2007, Joshua played some of the most intricate pieces of music ever written. That case that Joshua opened up to take out his violin contained a violin worth $3.5 million. Just 2 days ago, or 2 days before he played in the subway, Joshua Bell had sold out a Boston theater where the cheapest seat tickets were over $100. But that day in the subway, Joshua Bell performed a free concert for 45 minutes. 1,097 people passed by. 7 paused. 5 stopped. 2 clapped. So what happened? People were preoccupied. They were living their lives. They had things to do. So they didn't stop to pay attention. They didn't stop to listen to what was right in front of them. They were not present in the moment. And it's easy to think that deep listening is just an exercise for our ears, but it is so much more than that. Deep listening is about being present, about paying attention. The song that we just sang a few minutes ago, Wake Now My Senses, is all about deep listening. The day that Joshua played in the subway, people weren't present. They weren't listening. They didn't wake their senses. People could have stopped and heard the amazing and beautiful music with their ears. They could have stopped and paid attention and been present and listened with their eyes to his body language as he moved and swayed and as he glided his bow against the guitar strings. People could have stopped and listened with their bodies by feeling the vibrations that were created from the music and feeling those around them. In fact, we all can. Now, I'm not saying that we all will have the opportunity to hear a world-famous musician in a subway. But has anyone ever felt their tummy rumble? Oh, really? Only 4 or 5 of us have ever been hungry? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. And even if you couldn't hear it, even if it didn't make noise, which when my tummy rumbles, I really hope it doesn't make noise because it's loud, I bet you could feel it, and you knew what it was telling you. If I do this with my face, I haven't said anything, but I bet you can tell what my face is saying. Anyone want to take a guess? What do you think? I'm happy. If I do this.
I don't know what's happening. Worry about it when we get there. Exactly.
Can you tell what my body is saying?
She wants me to come down.
What do you think? You're sad. I'm sad. Has anyone ever felt a pet crawl up on the couch next to them, or a bed or a chair? Now, unless you have a very fancy pet that can talk to you, I bet the pet is not saying anything to you with words. But what do you think your pet is trying to say to you? They want to be with you. We all have ways to tap into deep listening if we are present and if we are paying attention. Sometimes that comes through our ears. Sometimes it comes through our eyes. Sometimes it comes through our sense of touch or smell. Anyone ever walked in someplace and gotten a whiff of something so yummy that has just come out of the oven? Yeah? What was it? Okay, McDonald's, sure. And what did that scent tell you? Food. We didn't need anyone shouting, "The food's ready!" When you smell McDonald's, you know the food is there. This, friends, is what deep listening looks like. It's what it sounds like. It's what it feels like. It's when we have a chance to be fully present. So as some of you are starting to guess, at the end of my story, I always give you a challenge. Your challenge starts today, right here, right now, if you choose to accept it. And it is to participate in our very fun and interactive service, as again, our kids and youth are not going downstairs, they're staying, and explore all the ways we can lean into and tap into deep listening, and dive into the question, are we really listening, and what does it mean when communication is a two-way street? Now, in just a second, I'm going to invite you to rise as you are willing and able in body and spirit, and join us in our next hymn, which is Follow the Drinking Gourd. But before I do that, I want to give you a tiny bit of context, and then Emma's going to give you a tiny bit more. Follow the drinking gourd on, thank you, attack. Follow the drinking gourd on its surface could seem very simple. It could seem like a song about directions. Follow the drinking gourd. But the words to this song actually contain a coded message that was used to tell enslaved people to follow the constellation known as the Big Dipper, which points to the North Star, to guide their way to freedom. This requires an enormous amount of being present and of deep listening, because if they had not found and understood the coded message inside it and just followed the actual words, they would have ended up at an alehouse, not the place they wanted to go. So as you rise and find our page, which is our song, which is 152 in the gray hymnal, Emma's going to tell us a little more about it.
While the choir get themselves into position, this isn't the only example of hidden meaning from the culture that this song originates from. Many of you will have seen beautiful braidings in hair. Originally, that would have been a map. You could follow with your fingers where the crossroads were, learn which way you needed to turn, the bends in the roads. It was all hidden so that you wouldn't be found with information in your pocket. Nobody would accuse you of having something written out that somebody else could find and destroy. You would learn to memorize. This hymn has been in our hymnal for a long time, but it too is a map. If you look at it, there are some very unusual musical directions. We are going to sing the first page and the second page 3 times in entirety. Then at the end it says Dici al fine, which is an Italian instruction to go da capo, the head, al fine, until finish. It's an Italian coding because the Italians notated music first, and we will sing the first 3 lines again. So we're going to sing both pages 3 times, and then the first 3. Here comes your intro. Please rise in body or spirit.
Thank you, everybody. Please be seated. Now, normally, this is the time in our service where our kids and our youth head off downstairs for what remains, and those left in the sanctuary move on to joys and sorrows. But as I mentioned earlier, this is an all-ages service. And so while we will have lots of participatory options and we will see kids moving about, or adults for that matter, grabbing things to help keep their hands busy, we're also going to do things a little bit differently. Now, while folks upstairs do joys and concerns with candles, our kids and our youth downstairs do stones of emotion. So I invite you today to merge those two together if you choose to. So this is how it will work. In just a second, if you would like to, you are welcome to make your way up. And we have our candles where you are welcome to light one, but we also have on the table small mason jars full of stones. Each of the mason jars is labeled with an emotion. We have things like happy, excited, okay, anxious, angry. Am I missing things, guys? Sad, thank you. And you're welcome to pick up a stone or two, or several, as some of our kids and youth do, and drop them into our container of emotions. One of the things our kids and our youth really focus on downstairs is being a community and being there in the same way you all do up here to hold each other in their joys and concerns, which is why we don't empty the stones. We let them collect throughout the church year. So, as you are comfortable, you're welcome to make your way up, pick up a stone, drop it into our container, and or light a candle if you would like, and speak into the mic your joy or your concern. For our friends at home on Zoom, you are welcome to type in your joy or concern and your stone of emotion, and then Sue will read those off for us. So. I'll light one final candle for all of the joys and sorrows and emotions that we hold in our hearts and in private that are not named. So as you're all realizing, today is a little bit different, and it's a lot interactive. One of the things that I have struggled with my entire life is slowing my mind down enough to be good at meditating. I try, I really do. I like the thought, I like the concept. I think meditation is amazing. And I close my eyes, and I sit still, and I ground my feet, and my brain says, you forgot to put milk on the list. Did you take the trash out? Did I put water in the dog's bowl? Mind goes and goes and goes. Meditating can be hard if we think about it in just one way. But our theme this month is deep listening. And as we're talking about, there are many ways that deep listening can take shape. The same is true for meditation. So today, we are going to do an interactive meditation, a musical meditation. And I'm going to turn it over to Emma again to help walk us through the directions of what we're going to do.
Please center yourself as you feel best suited, maybe 2 feet flat on the ground, maybe drop your head, take a deep breath. I'm going to ask you to consider raising a hand or 2 hands. And I'm going to play the piano, and we are going to listen to that sound and how it changes over time. Different pitches will ring out, and you may hear, if the piano is beautifully in tune, you may hear some extra notes beginning to pop out from the resonations that the other strings set off. Once that sound disappears, drop your hand so that you are actively listening. It can be easier done with your eyes shut.
Ready? You can open your eyes now. And I'd like to invite up Pam for this morning's invitation to generosity.
If you are visiting, you are our guest today. We hope you will find a spiritual home here and consider contributing when the time is right. Now begins our invitation of generosity.
Our reading today is one of my favorites, and it is short and sweet. It is Listen to the Mustn'ts by Shel Silverstein. Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never haves, then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. Now, some of you might have noticed that some of our kids scooted into the parlor during our Stones of Emotion. And as I get set up for this morning's sermon, I would like to invite them back because I'm going to need everybody's help for this. So I had every intention of writing a sermon today. I sat down with my computer, I was ready for it, and then I got distracted. Has anyone ever been distracted? Yeah. I couldn't write a thing. I couldn't think of a thing. All I could do was hear what my body was telling me. And my body was telling me it was hungry. My body was telling me it desperately wanted a sandwich. A sun butter and jelly sandwich, to be exact. And I thought, okay, this is simple. I'll make a sandwich, and then I'll sit down and I'll write my sermon. And then I thought, I don't know how. I don't know how to make a sun butter and jelly sandwich. How did I get to 37 and not know how to do this? So I need your help. In just a minute, Gary is going to walk around with a microphone. And I need all of your help. Our kids, our youth, our grown-ups. I need you to tell me how to make a sun butter and jelly sandwich. That make sense? Because I can't go anywhere. I can't go forward with today until I know how to do this. It's driving me insane. So if you have a direction, the first step, and then the second and the third in making a sun butter and jelly sandwich, please raise your hand, and Gary will come around with the microphone. See, I'm so glad you guys came back. I knew I was not going to be able to do this without you. And give me a direction. I have a table. I've got stuff. But that's all I've got so far. Oh, I'm going to be joined. This is fantastic. I have a friend coming up. And folks are welcome to stay in their seats or come up, whatever is comfy for you. All right, what is the first thing I need to do, friend?
Get bread.
Get bread. I did it. My sandwich is made. Is that it? Oh, I did it? That's it? Okay, I've got the bread. Okay, I see another hand. Thank you. Now what?
Then you need to put the bread on the table.
Put the bread on the table.
And take it out of the bag. Then put it on the table.
Take it out of the bag.
Take 2 slices out of the bag and put it on the table.
Okay, we're gonna go one direction at a time for each person, okay? Thanks, Liam. Take the bread. Put the bread on the table. Oh, 2 slices. I had another friend up front tell me, no, April, not a stack of bread, 2 slices. 2 slices.
Open them up.
Sure, you can have it after. You can't eat in the sanctuary. You can have a piece of bread after.
Can I take one?
No, go sit down. Okay, 2 slices.
Do you have a plate to put that bread on so you don't get crumbs on the table? Then
I
pick
have a
up the
plate to put the bread on to not get crumbs on the table. Plate, bread, no crumbs. Oh, no. Oh, someone is saying no. Oh, not that. All right, raise your hand if you've got another direction. We're going to let friends, we will cycle back to seconds, but we're going to let everyone participate. Like this?
Well, I was going to say just a word of caution. When you get to the knife, be sure to hold it by the handle part and not the sharp part, because that can cut your fingers.
Knife. Handle part, not the sharp part. Is this it? Is my sandwich made? No. Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go.
take the wrapped bread off the plate and put the non-wrapped bread on the plate.
Take the wrapped bread off the plate. Put the non-wrapped bread on the plate. I still have my knife by the handle. Am I done now? Oh, okay. We've got a hand in the back.
So next, once you have the bread on the plate and you have your knife, you should put the knife in the sun butter, take some sun butter out with the knife, and then spread it on a piece of the bread.
Okay. I have my bread on my plate. I have my knife. I'm supposed to get sun butter now? I don't, what, how? Okay. Oh, someone said put the plate down. Got it. Okay, hold on. Plate down. Hold on. Get the sun butter. Put the knife on the sun butter. All right, hold on. I love that you're so excited about church, but I have someone with their hand up. Knife on the sun butter.
But before you do that, you need to separate the two slices of bread so that you...
Separate the two slices. Okay. My slices are separated on a plate. My knife is in the on the sun butter. Oh, I see another hand over here.
Unscrew the sun butter cap
Screw the sun butter. That makes so much sense.
and
Okay.
put the knife in.
Unscrew the sun butter. Put the knife in. Like that.
Yeet the cap. Throw the cap. Wait, no. You gotta untip that tabby thing. Untip that tabby thing.
Tip the tabby thing.
No, untip it.
It was untipped. It's standing straight up.
Let me help you.
Hold on, Liam. Hold on.
Cut a hole.
Hold on. Wait. You get one direction. So tip it. Now we're gonna pass it to someone else.
I didn't say tip it. Use the knife to cut a hole in that plastic paperish stuff.
Use a knife.
Now it's in the something. Take the paper out.
The paper out. All right, I'm going to pause you right there. We're going to let someone else raise their hand. But what do I do with this? Okay, we'll just put it there for right now.
Wait,
Okay, now what?
spread the sun butter on the bread.
One slice. With the nut. No, it's okay.
Like that?
With the knife. With the knife.
Oh, with the knife. Got it. Okay. Like that? Oh, no, not like that. I can tell. No, it's chocolate sun butter. Okay, spread the sun butter with the knife, got it, on the bread, like that? All over it. Oh, all over it. My friend JJ had their hand up right here. JJ, did you want to give me a direction? All right.
Say it again.
Then put the jelly on the other slice.
Then I put the jelly on the other slice. Done! No? No. Not done.
First, you gotta lick the knife, but on the safe side.
At home, yes. Liam is
Unscrew
my
the-
child, for anyone that doesn't know, and he has watched me make a
Unscrew the
sandwich before.
jelly. Take the jelly off and unscrew it.
Unscrew the jelly. Okay,
Also, you should probably wash your hands.
I'm going to wash my hands, don't you worry. All right.
Oh, you gotta say.
Hazel May, what do you think I do next? Oh, thanks for coming to help me. All right, I got my cap off my jelly. What should I do next?
Get the knife and put it in the jelly.
Oh, get the knife.
You might want to clean it off first.
Oh, and I should clean it off first.
With the other piece, maybe.
Clean off the knife.
Maybe I need a piece.
Then I put it in the jelly? Yeah. Okay. Now what?
You take some out on the knife. Can you say, you take some jelly out on the knife?
Put some on, take it out and put it on the bread.
Take it out,
With the knife.
put it on the bread.
With the knife.
Oh, right, with the knife. With the knife.
All over.
Oh, all over.
You might want a little bit more for that.
I might want a little bit more for that. I bet you're thinking to yourselves, maybe, possibly, is April even listening to us? Did April hear anything we said? Why is this sandwich so complicated? Why is she having such a hard time making it? And then I have to fold it? Like that? I folded it? No?
Put some Play-Doh.
Okay.
Okay.
Take the two sides, make sure they're both unfolded, and fold them together.
Okay, take the two sides, make sure they're unfolded, fold them together.
No.
I did it at the same time. That's together. No. Mm-mm. Nope, not like that.
Unfold them. Unfold them and put them together. Sandwich them sandwich them together.
Like that?
Other way. Other side. Other side.
Okay, hold on, my friends.
You gotta put the jelly on top, not some butter. Cause
The jelly?
No, put the some butter on top.
On
'Cause
top.
No, flip it around. Flip it
Hold
around.
on. Thank you for sharing.
Flip it to so that the fillings are both parallel of each other,
Flip it so the fillings are parallel to each other.
and then put them together. That way they're touching. No.
No.
Bread so they
Put them, perfectly aligned.
Perfectly aligned together so they're touching.
Yay! Yay!
Have I made a sandwich?
My mother made a sandwich.
Thank you, friends. I would never have been able to do that on my own. That is so much more complicated than I ever would have imagined.
eat it.
Oh, and then I eat it. Hold on. No, because my hands and fingers have been all over this. But we will take the bread and the sun butter and the jelly to coffee. Actually, I've stuck my hands in both. We're going to just take this home because I have now stuck my hands in both of them. But I bet at some point people started going, is she paying attention? Is she listening? Oh, yes.
You were taking our words literally. Like when they said fold them together, you meant like actually, like literally.
I
fold
did.
pieces of bread instead of like put them together.
I was taking your words very, very, very literally. I want to think about the other side of it. We so often think about listening, especially deep listening, as what we're getting from somebody else. But deep listening is a part, sorry, my hands are still covered with sun butter and jelly. Deep listening is a part of communication. It's just one half. And sometimes we are getting information from the outside in, from other people. But just like I was saying, has anyone ever heard their bellies rumbling? Has anyone ever listened to what their body was telling them? There's the other half of the street. How are we listening? And sometimes that means listening to ourselves. There was lots of giggles and laughs as I was trying to make this sun butter sandwich. But what I noticed, what I heard, was the way people were communicating with me started to change. I started to get really, really, really specific instructions. Friends, we are at the very beginning of October, which means we have a whole month to explore deep listening. The challenge that I would put forward to you as we explore it here on Sunday mornings in church, but also as you explore it in your daily lives, is, are you paying attention? Are you present? Are you active in all forms of communication? Are all your senses awake? Are you listening with your ears and your eyes and your bodies? Are you listening to what is coming at you from the outside world? And are you listening to what your heart is saying? Are you listening to what you're saying and how that affects others? Are we really listening? And if you forget, always remember how complicated it was for me to make this sun butter and jelly sandwich. And with that, I have to figure out what hymn is next with my very sticky hands now. Our hymn is number, I know it's in the teal one, and it is number
1021.
1021, Lean on Me. And this is a really, really fun one. And it's a really fun one to be participatory with. So I would invite you to do just that.
1, 2, 3.
Friends, may we be people of deep listening, committed listening, a listening that leads to healing, a listening that leads to wholeheartedness, a listening that helps us grow in compassion, a listening that helps us discern an action for justice making that we can make, a listening that nurtures the self-change. May we find our practice of listening to be a blessing to ourselves. May our practice of listening be a blessing to others. Friends, may we listen.